The world is vast, diverse, and filled with incredible people, and it's all been captured in one solid book. Introducing my new coffee table book, Humanity, A Glimpse of Us, which is a breathtaking collection of portraits that celebrate the unique cultures, faces, and stories of people from every corner of the earth. From the bustling streets of New York to the remote villages of the Pacific Islands, each image tells a story. Every smile, every gaze, every detail is a window into a life, a culture, and a moment in time. And this book isn't just about the amazing images, it's about connection. It's a journey around the world, right from your living room. So with this being my very first foray into authorship, I invite you all to be among the first to own this stunning collection and celebrate the beauty of humanity with me. The world is waiting. Let's explore it together. Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering the character that's most widely known as Winter Soldier. Now, he made his very first appearance as Bucky in Captain America Comics, issue number 1, that had a cover date of March 1941. However, decades later, he was reintroduced to the world as Winter Soldier in Captain America Volume 5, issue number 1, that had a cover date of January of 2005. Now, his complete name is James Buchanan Barnes, aka Bucky, but it's noted that his most current alias is actually Revolution, which signifies a fresh new shift in his purpose and being. Now, Bucky could be considered a super soldier that's the best friend of Captain Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. And Bucky stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 260 pounds. Yeah, I said that right, and I did research that as well as I could. Dude just weighs 260, which is quite a bit, with him also having brown eyes and brown hair and his iconic bionic left arm. And Bucky's surprisingly extensive abilities and skills have led him to be a very effective leader of the Thunderbolts. Now, although Bucky officially is only classified as having peak human potential for his physicality, I think that's a little bit suspect, because many individuals, including myself, really consider him to have at least low-level superhuman abilities. And currently, this is due to him having been injected with a perfected version of the Infinity Formula by Nick Fury. And due to this, Bucky consistently will always have peak human strength, which, like I said earlier, really goes into at least low-level superhuman strength, as well as considerable speed, agility, reflexes, stamina, durability, and balance, which I had to mention because it's been noted that on multiple occasions, he's done extreme feats of balance, such as holding himself up on a ledge with just 2 fingers without falling. Additionally, he has a low-level healing factor, with lesser injuries such as cuts and burns being able to completely heal within a few hours, and having an extended lifespan, appearing to be a man in his prime or somewhere around his early 30s, although he was born in 1925. So yeah, those last 2 points alone allude to the fact that he's more than just a peak human. Nevertheless, to go on, he also has a cybernetically enhanced arm, which itself has a myriad of different abilities on top of being already stronger than his enhanced physiology itself. These include things like having a vast array of sensory abilities, as well as being programmed to operate on its own in certain scenarios, such as an automatic tactical reload and being able to move even when it's detached from his body. Additionally, it also has various offensive abilities, such as being able to discharge electrical currents and EMP pulses, not to mention having a built-in retractable blade. Oh, and this arm is tough, with it being noted that it can withstand vibranium attacks and high explosives. Now, this isn't even to mention that Bucky himself has a laundry list of physical skills, being a master martial artist, marksman, expert shield fighter, acrobat, stealth tactician, spy, and assassin who's multilingual, being fluent in English, Russian, German, Japanese, Chinese, and French, at least. Oh, and he's also known to, at times, use a teleportation device to get around. So yeah, Bucky is no joke. Now, Bucky was born in Shelbyville, Indiana, and was orphaned at a young age when his father, a soldier at Camp Lehigh, died in training. Bucky was subsequently taken in as the camp's mascot, but quickly proved himself to be much more than a simple sidekick. His natural combat skills and agility earned him training under military specialists, making him a skilled fighter and marksman by his mid-teens. During World War II, Bucky was assigned as Captain America's partner. Unlike the comics' earlier portrayal of him as a youthful sidekick, later retcons would depict him as a highly trained operative specializing in stealth, sabotage, and assassinations, effectively making him Captain America's darker counterbalance. We would see him fight alongside Capt and the Invaders, engaging in multiple missions against the Axis powers, including clashes with Baron Zemo, Red Skull, and Hydra. But in 1945, during a mission to stop Baron Zemo from using a drone plane loaded with explosives, Bucky and Cap attempted to board it in mid-flight. This is when we'd see Cap fall into the icy waters of the North Atlantic, while Bucky seemingly died in the explosion. However, in reality, this moment marked the beginning of his transformation into the Winter Soldier. We'd learned that Bucky's frozen, yet still living body was retrieved by the Soviet Union, specifically by the covert Department X, which recognized his potential as an elite assassin. His shattered body was reconstructed with cybernetic enhancements, including a bionic left arm, which granted him his initial low-level superhuman strength and combat abilities. However, his mind was brainwashed, erasing his past and reshaping him into the Winter Soldier, a ruthless, nearly untraceable assassin who operated from the shadows. Under Soviet control, the Winter Soldier carried out dozens of high-profile assassinations and covert operations over the course of the Cold War. His missions included eliminating political targets, infiltrating enemy nations, and even assisting Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff, in her early training in the Red Room. But when not in use, he was placed in cryostasis, keeping him from aging and maintaining his lethal edge over decades. His legacy as the Winter Soldier was shrouded in secrecy, making him a ghost story among intelligence agencies. However, his actions had profound consequences on the Marvel Universe, such as assassinating Wolverine's wife, Itsu, unknowingly helping create a villain of Wolverine's son, Daken. Bucky's past would come back to light when the Red Skull, in collaboration with Russian General Alexander Lukin, used the Winter Soldier as a weapon against Steve Rogers. During this time, Bucky was still under mind control and was responsible for the assassination of Jack Monroe, aka Nomad, and several other figures. However, Steve, refusing to believe Bucky was truly lost, sought to bring him back. Using the Cosmic Cube, Steve restored Bucky's memories, shattering the years of Soviet brainwashing. Being overcome with guilt, Bucky went on a path of redemption, working to dismantle the very systems that had turned him into a weapon. We'd even see that following Steve Rogers' apparent death in Captain America Volume 5, issue number 25, Bucky would briefly take up the mantle of Captain America, determined to honor his friend's legacy. During this time, he would valiantly fight threats like the Red Skull, the Serpent Society, and Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers. But his tenure as Cap was marked by both personal and political struggles, culminating in his apparent death at the hands of Sin, who was Red Skull's daughter, during the Fear Itself event, although we learned that he did secretly survive this. After some time, realizing that he was more effective at working from the shadows, Bucky would return to the Winter Soldier identity, using it for covert operations rather than assassination. This led to the launch of his Winter Soldier solo series, where he dismantled Soviet-era sleeper agents and fought the likes of Leo Novokov and Dr. Doom. Over time, Bucky evolved into the Marvel Universe's premier espionage operative, taking on missions even S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't handle. He would later become the Man on the Wall, protecting Earth from cosmic threats in Original Sin, and has since continued to operate in the shadows while occasionally assisting Steve and other heroes. And like I said earlier, he's even to the point now that he's taken on the new identity as Revolution. Now, the Winter Soldier's redemption arc is one of Marvel's most compelling stories, transforming Bucky from a forgotten sidekick into a tragic anti-hero of sorts, and later into a symbol of resilience. His story explores themes of guilt, redemption, and identity, making him one of Marvel's most nuanced characters. Matter of fact, in popular culture, we all have seen him in the MCU, further popularizing the character. So from him being a patriotic wartime hero, to a brainwashed assassin, to a redeemed warrior, James Bucky Barnes has lived through some of Marvel's most harrowing storylines. However, as the Winter Soldier, as I'll always know him, he remains one of the deadliest yet most honorable figures in the Marvel Universe, proving that even the most broken people can find redemption. Now, for his powers and abilities and his influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give James Bucky Barnes a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.